you doing today? Oh, well, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by my book booth, if you will. Yeah, I am just getting everything set up and situated, so if you like, you can look around and see if any books catch your eye. For the most part, I have everything by genre, so if there is something particular that you're looking for, just let me know. Okay. Except for, I do have a batch of new books that I need to organize and kind of catalog into my system. Okay, you take a moment and browse, and then if you need any help, I can be at your assistance. Okay, good. Still doing okay? Good. Well, sure. If you are looking for some new books, I could try and tell you about some of the new ones that I just picked up. Okay, perfect. Well, I have a few to still catalog so that I know where everything is. But just at random, as I have not organized these into genre quite yet. Hope you understand. Okay. Well, let's see. I just did these 3 books here, so might as well start with those. I have the Poetry of Nightmares. So it's kind of like classic spooky tales from the past, I believe. Yes, classic spooky poems from the past. So if you like poetry and spooky vibes, you could say this one might be a fun pick for you. It is more vintage feel to it, not even vintage, old time poetry, if you will. So keep that in mind, not for everybody. Then the other 2 that I just did, I have The Grimoire Girl by Hilary Burton Morgan. This is a kind of a bio with a witchy spin. So I have that. Yeah. Talks about her own practices. Well, a little bit of a bio vibe, if you will. And then the other one that I just entered in was Never Whistle at Night. This is a fantastic collection of kind of spooky dark fiction, I believe. It's dark fiction anthology where a bunch of different Native American authors compiled all of their spooky stories, and some of them are quite terrifying. I'm about halfway through this book myself, but I'm a spooky girl and love spooky tales. And these ones are very good indeed. Yeah. Alright. I have The Year of the Witchy, a novel by Alexis Henderson. This is another new one. You'll find that I like magic in my book booth. So just import that. So this is very much kind of a, what would you say, classic witchy story. It is pending on your preference. About 359 pages, this one. Alright, let's load some more poetry. We have Call Us What We Carry by Amanda Gorman. It was one of my favorite reads last year, actually, yeah, so I had to get a copy for the book booth so that more could be spread. Amanda Gorman. Yes, poetry. This is a book of poetry that she really focused and wrote on during 2020. So lots of crazy things happened in 2020. So you may relate to some of her stories if you lived through what a crazy year that was. Yeah. Okay. Just moving right along here. I'll go back to Witches. This was actually my favorite read last year. The Nature of Witches. A witchy, magical world story. Loved this book. Oh, Rachel Griffin. Oh, it has a lot to do with like seasons and how the witches tie to each season. Fall, winter, spring, summer. And Clara, the main character, is an ever witch, so she's tied to all of the seasons. Okay. Alright, that's all catalogs here. We do have this new kind of guidebook, Herbal Remedies for Beginners. So lots of good healing practices, medicines, and other remedies that you could maybe grow in your garden. Are you a gardener? Well, this may interest you. It's how to identify and grow and use 20 essential herbs and create over 100 safe and natural ancient remedies to treat common ailments. So, maybe pretty interesting to you. I know there was a couple teas in here that I'm going to try and make. Remedies. Oh yeah, you have like kind of the how-to guide and the recipes and whatnot in this particular book, but there's some pictures too, which may help you in identifying some of the herbs. Okay. Then I have this horror book, Stephen King. Are you a King fan? I read him for the first time last year. Isn't that crazy? This was actually the first one I read, Misery, and it was a close contender of my favorite book last year. Yeah. It is a good horror thriller if you like that type of thing. Yeah, of course. course. Let me just see how long this one is for you. This edition is 340 pages. Oh, well, I really liked it. If you like those type of genres, I do. I also read Carrie last year. I didn't like it as much as this one. I know I shouldn't say this, being in a book booth and all, but I actually think the Carrie movies are better than the book. Okay, so Stephen King, log, thriller, horror. Okay. So this poetry book to log. Shorter book. The 29th Year, poems by Ahala Alahan. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're just looking to get some poetry read, then this one is, I don't even think it's more than 100 pages, you can see, so. Okay. Poetry. Okay, that one is logged too. Let me just see here. I have a few more I want to get done. Am I boring you to death? Well, hopefully you can take some of these books as recommendations, or I can box them up for you if you're interested. Alright, we have Never Lie by Frida McFadden. She is pretty popular in the thriller genre. So, get Frida McFadden. I think I read one of her books last year, I think. Or maybe it was this year. The Perfect Sun, I think it was. I read that this year, I think. The days blur together, my dear. Do you like thrillers? Well, I haven't read this one myself yet. I may borrow it from the booth and give it a good read before. Yes, I can't give you my opinion on that, but it was very popular on BookTok. Okay, let's see. I have Maggie's Grave. I love this cover, if you like spooky. But I do. I love this cover. A horror novel by David Sordengreen. Well, you are definitely going to find poetry in my booth, horror, thriller, witchy stories, magic. Those are my type of favorite genres to carry, but I do carry other ones as well. I understand those aren't for everybody, but yeah. So this one, a small Scottish town is dead and has been for years. It sits in the shadows of a mountain, forgotten, and in the perpetual gloom. 47 residents are all that remain. There is nothing to do there, nothing to see except for a solitary grave near the top of the mountains. But sometimes the dead don't stay buried, especially when they have unfinished business. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, Maggie's Grave, David. Perfect. Okay, we have Home Before Dark, another thriller horror, I believe, is what I marked something fresh shot through with shocks of real horror. New York Times bestseller review. Okay. Good. Here, the house where death lives, again with the spooky vibes. Can you tell I like that? If you've seen death up close, you'd recognize it in a heartbeat, and a heartbeat would be exactly what it took. The yawning, crumbling mouth of a grave, the putrid, oversweet smell of rotting flowers, a slow build to abrupt, permanent end. The house beckons you inside. Do you enter? A dance to death, a monstrous girl who lures people into dark water, a hallway that constantly changing and is hungry. All these stories exist within a house, unbound from the laws of time and space. From the attic to the library to the grounds, each chilling story in this anthology focuses on different areas of haunted houses and features unique takes on the monsters from a wide array of cultural traditions. A water-loving rascala or a horrifying baby-imitating creature, there's always something sinister lurking in the shadows. I think these have some beautiful illustrations in it too for the different points in the house. Now entering the second floor. Let's see what else. Where was it? Oh, I just skipped it. The grounds. Oh my goodness. Edited by Alex Brown. Can't remember how many authors are in this one. Quite a few, I believe. Let me see. So, attic, Good Morning Georgia, down the stairs, Vanishing Point, Cradle and All, After Midnight, second floor, The Gray Library, The Phantom's Waltz, Mirror, Mirror, Smart Monster, first floor, Let's Play a Game, What Lies in Silence, Me, I'm Not, Like Mother, Grounds, In Deep, Bloom, The Shoe, A Helping Hand. I have 4 more books to catalog real quick. Practical Magic by Alice Huffman. Another fantastic witchy read. I do love the magic stories. Can't deny that. This particular book is the 25th anniversary edition. This one, let me just, 1 second. This edition is 299 pages. I also have a hardcover, if you prefer that. Everyone has their reading preferences, of course, so sometimes I do like to carry multiple copies of the same book, even though my book booth is a little smaller, just in case maybe you want the paperback, you want the hardcover. Okay. Have another bio from the fantastic Mistress of the Dark herself, Elvira. Cassandra Peterson. Memoirs of the Mistress of the Dark. Yours cruelly, Elvira. These are always fun to have too when the bios maybe include photographs, But then sometimes I also like to listen to audiobooks of the bios if the person themselves has read it. That's just my personal preference. So, like I said, everybody likes to enjoy their books in a different manner. Okay, so that. Okay. And I have another poetry book, last poetry book of the day, Things You Find Hidden in My Ear. 124 pages, so this one, compared to the first poetry book I showed you, this one's a little longer, but still, if you're anything like me, if you like really get into the poetry, you can just go through these various poems fairly quickly. Depends on the author, of course, but I tend to get like that. Go through the poems fast. And Masaba Bhutha. Good. Things you may find hidden in my ear. Good. Okay. And then the last book I have to put in the system today, They Come From Within by Jason Nicky. Spooky. Sure. We all face different monsters and demons in life, whether it's a prank gone wrong, a filmmaker discovering the horrible truth behind the documentary, a couple's hidden sex life, or the toughest decision a mother could make. The demons we face are often external influences, but sometimes they come from within. From Jason Nicky, author of Wreckage, Jasper, and the Appalachian Zombies, and co-author of When the Mockingbird Sings, comes a new collection of unsettling stories. Jason Nicky. Collection. Let's see here. Contents. Late term, the documentary, self-checkout, a shared experience, Polly's Cracker, Danny's Dilemma, Firebug, Safe Travels, Brink, Afterward, Acknowledgements about the author, also by Jason Nicky. Okay. Perfect. So, I believe that those are all of the new books that I needed to categorize into my system. I will, of course, place those, put all the witchy books together, magic, the thrillers and horrors, the bios, the poetry, all of those things, place them neatly together so I can put them in the appropriate shelves and bins throughout the book booth here. Of course. Yes, feel free to glance at any of the ones that I read for you, showed the details on, or any of the shelves and bins around. Of course, no, I don't mind the chat at all. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. And if you're looking for something specific, I can always look it up on my computer too. Or, I probably have a pretty good idea on what section of the booth it would be in. Of course. Well, thank you for stopping by. Again, please let me know if you have any questions as you look over all of the books. always, thank you so much to my lovely patrons for supporting my channel. Thank you, John, Dave, Sydney, Chad, Travis, Ivory, Mark, Danny, Matthew, John F., Wandering, Douglas, Dracula, Daniel, Monique, Sean, Colin, Matt, Sean M., Jordan, Dave W., Nick, Fender, Krishna, Andrew, Chris, Ian, Malachi, Amy, Alex, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, lovelies.